This experience emboldened me, and later on in the college, I took part in number of elocution competitions. Then, when I was a teacher and a professor, I also got, I was benefited because of this experience. I also remember she used to prepare us for competitive exams. And I remember on one occasion, she had taken our class even on a Sunday at her residence at Matunga. She used to stay at Matunga in those days. I must say that I even remember her first lecture, which was delivered in 1967. I was in the 7th standard, and this was possibly the classroom where she taught us. She was our history teacher, and she narrated in the first lecture the life and teachings of Socrates. She made the subject very interesting and gave us information which was not confined to the syllabus. She impressed upon us that Socrates was not only a classical Greek philosopher, but also founder of Western philosophy, who chose to honor his commitment to truth and morality, even though it cost him his life. Such was her skill in teaching that even after 47 years, I vividly remember her first lecture. Thereafter, I developed interest in philosophy, and though I was a student of commerce, I read books written by Bertrand Russell, Will Durant, and other Western philosophers, and then turned to Indian philosophy. Even today, I am a student of Indology. I also fondly remember Mrs. Sohoni, Mr. Parmanand, Mr. Pradhan and Mr. Kulkarni, our mathematics teachers, Mrs. Vaingankar, Mrs. Dalvi, Mrs. Desai, Mrs. Oak, Mrs. Dev, and a number of other teachers. I have nostalgic memories of the time I spent in the school. When the English school started in 1964, I was in the fifth standard. Bombay was much cleaner place and better place at that time. Fortunately, there were no builders and there were no traffic jams, cleaner air, and Bombay was less populated. I remember we used to get good batata vada in the Divadkar canteen. The canteen used to be here. Well, almost 50 years have passed. I must express my deep sense of gratitude to the organizers for felicitating me and for giving me this opportunity to be part of this Golden Jubilee celebrations. I must also congratulate the organizers and the Alumni Association for felicitating all our ex-principals and ex-teachers of our school. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us your views and opinions, and also for your emphasis that you wanted to be inculcated among the present generation, that is, impeccable integrity. To host a function of this magnitude, which is yet to unveil in its totality, requires meticulous planning, an eye for detail, and prompt execution. There are people directly or indirectly involved to make the event memorable. Here I request our principal, Srimati Meenakshi Walke, to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Very good evening to one and all. Respected dignitaries on the dais, respected Justice Kanade, respected Dr. Kerkar, principals, ex-principals, ex-teachers, ex-staff, our present staff, and all my dear students. I stand before you to propose the vote of thanks thanks is a small 5-letter word, but it has a great feeling of in-depthness. First and foremost, I thank our guests for the evening, Shri Kanade and Dr. Kerkar. Both of them are our very own students who have graced this occasion and shared their views with us. I thank our 3 principals, Srimati Sinha, Srimati Khandare, and Srimati Bhavalkar, who have contributed immensely and brought up our school to the great heights at which it stands today. I thank our very own ex-students. Now, you're all adults who have distinguished themselves and excelled in their lives and made us proud. A sincere thanks to the IES management for their unfailing and continuous support. The donors, PTA members, teaching and non-teaching staff have always been our pillars of strength. The 50-year milestone is indeed nothing but 50 years of cooperation on the part of all these factions. Very heartfelt and sincere thanks are due to all of them. A million thanks to Shri Prashant Thakre for rendering music to the VNS anthem and for his contribution towards making this program a grand success. I also thank the donors and all others who have contributed towards advertisements and banners. A sincere thanks to all our ex-teachers and our ex-staff members who have really been our well-wishers and whose presence today has been a great encouragement to us. Thanks to Ashirwad decorators, Satish caterers, mic arrangement was by Mr. Rane, light arrangement by Mr. Nayak, and a band master, Mr. Kulkarni, for their valuable support. I thank our special invitees from Germany, Principal Mrs. Beat Bueller and her group of teachers and students who have honored us and graced this occasion. A million thanks to all our present students as well as our ex-students for their valuable contribution towards making this program a grand success. Inadvertently, if I have missed out on anyone, my sincere thanks to one and all here who have contributed towards making this program a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. Now we will have a 10 minutes break before we move on to our next segment of the program. But trust me, this particular break will not be an ordinary one, but will surely make you wonder in amazement. Of course, for this wonder, you may have to go for a little bit of neck exercise. Let's see what happens. I now request all our Governing Council members to take their seats in the ground.